Philosophizing doodle, yeah! There's a question that have echoed through every age of humanity. A question that seems to have a simple answer, yet every generation stumbles upon it. If God is good, why does evil exist? Why do earthquakes bury cities? Why do storms steal children from their mothers? Why does suffering stain a world said to be forged by perfect love? Most answers point to free will, others say that God has a plan. Some simply surrender and call it an eternal mystery. But respectivism offers an alternative way of looking at this reality. Let's begin. The classic problem of evil goes like this. If God is all-powerful, he could stop evil. If God is all-good, he would stop evil. Yet evil undoubtedly exists. So, what follows? Is God not powerful? Is he indifferent to our strife? Or is the very idea of God incoherent? Respectivism rejects all these questions. Instead of questioning, respectivism responds with an unexpected answer. It says that these questions begin from mistaken understanding of evil itself. We imagine evil as though it were a force, a rival kingdom standing against a good, something God created. We tend to think evil is some kind of force, or a rival to the good, or something God allows, but respectivism overturns that picture entirely. Respectivism uses a simple metaphor. Imagine existence as a rope coming down from God. The rope is coherence, a network of directly related relations that tends toward direction of greater coherence over time, the living unity that holds reality together. Now consider this. A knot is not another rope. It introduces nothing new. It is simply the rope twisted upon itself. Likewise, evil is not another creation, nor a rival power. A distortion itself, a fold in finite existence, a tension arising whenever the finite turns away from perfect coherence. Evil isn't a thing that God created. But why should knots exist at all? Because finite beings possess agency. If every relationship in reality unfolded in perfect alignment, if every moment were perfectly one-to-one, there would be no choice, no freedom, no responsibility, only inevitability. To possess agency is therefore to possess the possibility of deviation, and whenever deviation becomes possible, distortion becomes possible. Yet, without the possibility to stray from the path, one cannot be their own separate individual from the rope. And to be the rope, one must be infinite. If man were infinite, then man would no longer have the finite qualities of man. In essence, you will no longer be you. Is that what you want? To have everyone to be not who they are, but something they are not. If every possibility of incoherence were removed entirely, nothing finite could remain, only perfect coherence would exist. To eliminate the possibility of evil would be to eliminate finite creation itself. Therefore, we live in a universe where distortions appear, knots can form. This means the possibility of evil is necessary for freedom, but the actualization of evil, or evil itself, is not. Its existence is contingent. It depends upon what finite beings actually choose in their life. This changes everything. Evil is not destiny. Only the possibility of misalignment belongs to freedom. A person may always possess the capacity to choose wrongly. Yet, in this very moment, if one chooses to be good, that person will remain wholly good. The possibility of darkness can never overcome the reality of actual lived goodness. But if evil is only a knot, why does it feel so overwhelming? Because knots create tension, they tighten, they resist, they pull against the very movement of the rope, and that resistance wounds, it breaks hearts, it leaves scars. Yet one truth remains: a knot can never replace the rope. It exists only because the rope exists. Without the rope, the knot vanishes. Evil borrows its existence from coherence, even while twisting against it. It longs to become its own direction, yet direction itself belongs only to the coherence that defines the path to such direction, which means evil is forever unstable, forever incomplete, forever unable to become ultimate. This is perspectivism's answer to the logical problem: evil. Contradiction cannot sustain itself. Only coherence has the capacity to endure. But philosophy must eventually meet reality. Imagine a mother who loses her child in a hurricane. The storm made no choice. It unfolded according to the changing dynamics of a limited world. Why? Because to be finite is to be limited. No finite reality can sustain perfect coherence everywhere at every moment. Wherever direct relation cannot reach, instability becomes possible. Change, collision, decay, and loss are not separate creations of evil. They are consequences of finite existence itself. Because finitude is limitation itself. A finite thing cannot relate to everything in reality all at once. Its actions only affect a limited part of the whole, creating a possibility for incoherence. A hurricane is not evil, it is a natural process within the universe. But because it cannot harmonize with every light or object it affects, suffering can emerge. Natural suffering arises not because creation is abandoned by God, but because finite reality is, by its very nature, limited in how perfectly it can embody coherence. Her grief is real, her sorrow is real, the knot is real. Respectivism never asks us to deny the pain of the mother, yet beneath every tragedy, the rope remains. The deeper coherence of existence have not been severed. The tragedy is real, but the ground that made the child's being possible remains. Suffering is profound, but is not ultimate. Evil can wound. It can distort. It can twist the strands of life until they ache, but it cannot erase a child's existence itself. To perish is to not cease existing. It is to undergo change within existence itself. Death is not an escape into non-being, for entering non-being would itself require being. What perishes is a finite form, not your own existence as such. Finite beings are distinguished by limitation, history, and transformation. Were we infinite as God is infinite, we will no longer be the particular persons we are. Our finitude, including our mortality, is part of what makes us ourselves. Thus, God creates a world in which change, loss, and even death are possible, because a world without the possibility of transformation would not be a world of finite beings at all. It would be only the infinite, only a lonely God. What had entered existence cannot become into absolute non-being. Even history remains forever woven into reality. Death may bring suffering, but it cannot erase the truth that a being has existed. Existence does not contradict itself, for existence is a coherence within reality itself. Existence amidst transformation, but never complete erasure. Therefore, in existence is nonsense, even in the face of death. So, I should not be afraid of death, for it is logically not the end of my existence. In my life, knots may tighten, but no knot can cut the rope that keeps me steady. So what then is the answer? Direct alignment. Respectivism teaches that overcoming evil is not pretending pain isn't real, nor is it insisting that every tragedy happened for a reason. It is the lifelong work of patiently loosening the knot. How? By practicing metaphysical respect, learning to relate to reality as it truly is, so that our understanding can correspond to the causality we encounter, allowing us to perceive reality as more intelligible and more meaningfully ordered. By relating more directly, more truthfully, more faithfully to everything that surrounds us, God did not create another rope, He unites knots. Yet finite beings must participate in that untying, because alignment cannot be forced. It must be freely embraced. And every act of genuine intelligible calmness, every step toward greater coherence, every moment of growth loosens the knot, drawing us upward, closer to the infinite, and closer to a direct relationship with God. So this is the respectivist answer to the problem of evil. Evil is not a rival, it is a knot. Freedom makes knots possible, coherence makes them temporary, and through direct alignment with reality, the knots of finite existence are slowly undone. Evil does not prove that God is absent, it reveals that we are finite and still becoming, called strand by strand to grow ever more into the likeness of God. The rope was never broken, it was only waiting for us to remember how to follow it. And if the universe is innately good, then even if human nature is selfish, selfishness itself is not ultimate. Human nature can be overcome by participating in the objective goodness that grounds reality. That is why the emotional market of the partisan does not rest on changing human nature, but on the enduring goodness of reality. That is all, folks. Now, if you want to learn more about respectivism, you can look at the link above me right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!